Here I am at the site of the ancient city of Smyrna. You might be familiar with that from the book of Revelation. In Revelation chapter 2, verses 8 through 11, one of Jesus' 7 letters to the churches. He writes, John writes, but Jesus speaks to the church in Smyrna, and these ruins behind me and this whole area that I'm at. And down behind these ruins, down below, is a market where kind of like a grotto down in the basement. This was known as the Agora. Now we're in the middle of an enormous metro area called Izmir that's the 3rd largest city in all of Turkey. And just up from me is a site where there was a stadium where the first great martyr, he wasn't the first martyr, but I say great in that it was the first detailed story we have of a Christian martyr. His name was Polycarp. And Polycarp was a disciple of the apostle John. So Polycarp is what's known as an apostolic father. And as an apostolic father, Polycarp was a long leader of the church here in Smyrna. At 86 years old, Polycarp was a revered man among the small Christian community here, and so an official known as an ironarch came looking for him. An ironarch was an official who was a Roman official, sought to seek out people who were seditious, who they thought were trying to upend government and so forth. And of course he wasn't looking to do any of that, but because they worshipped a god who wasn't Caesar, now they needed to deal with Polycarp. And so Polycarp, being the leader, 86 years old, of this church, fledgling church, they sought him out. They came for him. Polycarp left his house upon news that they were coming to seek him out, to bring him before the magistrates. And so Polycarp ended up going to a different home with a couple of younger men. He got to that place and they found out where that was. They came looking there for him. And they tortured those young men. And one of those young men gave up Polycarp. They finally came to Polycarp, and Polycarp greeted the officials coming to get him. He wasn't hostile. He greeted them. In fact, he welcomed them, and he asked them to wait. And so they waited, and as they waited, he prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed. He prayed for 2 hours, Polycarp did, while they were waiting to come and take him. Finally, after his prayer meeting, he ended up going out, and they took him, and they brought him to the magistrate. The magistrate wanted him to give up, as it were, and to sacrifice to Caesar, and he declined, predictably. They brought him to the stadium that is at a site up on a hill overlooking what you see behind me. They brought him to that stadium, and as he got out of the carriage, he fell, turned his ankle, his leg, damaged it. He continued to kind of limp into the stadium, and as he went in, they wanted him to, and kept offering opportunity for him to proclaim his fidelity to Caesar. And one of the ways they wanted him to do that was to say, "Away with the atheists." Why would they have him say, "Away with the atheists"? Well, the reason is that Christians were thought of as atheists because they rejected polytheism and they rejected the worship of the emperor, and so they were thought to be without a theism. So Polycarp, walking in the stadium, looked up, and as he looked up at the crowds who wanted him to say, "Away with the atheists," he held out his hand and he said, "Look, away with the atheists, away with the atheists." Of course, he was being ironic. He was saying, away with those of you who ultimately reject the lordship of Jesus Christ and turn that somehow toward the lordship of Caesar. And so Polycarp was appealed to again and again, and he would not deny Christ, and he would not kowtow before the magistrates. They said, "We'll send wild beasts to you." And he said, "Go ahead and send them. I've not done anything in any way that should deserve that, but particularly, God's not done me any wrong. Christ has never done me any wrong. Why would I turn myself over to that which is wrong when that which is right has done me well?" And Polycarp ended up being burned alive. Just up this hill, he was burned alive. 86 years old. And at a place where, in a stadium where people received the victor's crowns for athletic achievement, he received what Jesus wrote about in Revelation 2, 8 through 11 to the church of Smyrna, particularly the end of verse 10, where he points out at the end of verse 10 that, and exhorts them, be faithful unto the end. Be faithful unto the end, and you'll receive the crown of life. These people in this fledgling church, be faithful unto the end, and you'll receive the crown of life. Well, Polycarp really did follow that. And from the time of the writing of Revelation to the time of Polycarp's martyr, there was about probably 65 years or so. Polycarp, who sat at the knee of the Apostle John, who wrote those words of Jesus out, be faithful unto the end and you'll receive a crown of life, in a stadium where people received victor's crowns for athletic achievement, he received the crown of life as he was burnt alive. You know, our faith is a faith worth walking out all the way to the end. In fact, perseverance, the great New Testament scholar F.F. Bruce wrote, perseverance is the test of reality. What does that mean? It means that if you're a Christian, you will be one who conquers, because you will be of the kind of person who walks out your faith. It doesn't mean you'll never stumble, you'll never fall. It doesn't mean you'll never backslide. But what it does mean is you'll walk it out all the way to the end. And you will persevere for the glory of God, and you'll receive the crown of life, like Polycarp, the great martyr of the church of Smyrna. You can read about that in the encyclical epistle from the church of Smyrna, an old document that was written about a year or so after Polycarp was martyred. May the Lord encourage you. May you press in, and may you persevere in your faith like one of the great early church martyrs, Polycarp, at this very place here at the church of Smyrna. Take care, and God bless. Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, click like, subscribe to our channel, or leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Most importantly, if it ministered to you or you know someone it could minister to, share it with them and spread the word about these thoughts for the week. Thanks for joining us.